Hey everybody, Jessi with Cincy Lit Sisters with Bookish in the 513. So if you are over on the Facebook channel, I just posted a video of my February reads. I read 10 books for February. Quite ambitious, I know. But this video is to go more in depth on each book and just hoping that maybe you'll pick it up with my review. These books were so great. I think all of them were 5-star reads for me, so let's dive on in. So, Days You Were Mine by Claire Leslie Hall. I read Broken Country by her. Loved it. So I knew when this book came out, it actually has been out longer than Broken Country, but when I saw this book, I'm like, I have to read it. I loved Broken Country. So this book is, let me just read the small little blurb. So from the author of Broken Country comes a gripping family drama about love, loss, and the unbreakable bonds of family, both chosen and biological. So in this book, there is our main character, Luke. He just recently got married and had a baby, and he knew that he was adopted. Well, this is him trying to reconnect with his birth mother. And during the process, like, they're trying to get to know each other, and Luke's wife, well, technically girlfriend, they're not married, his girlfriend's trying to go back to work, and they're trying to find a sitter for the baby. Well, Luke's birth mother, Alice, decides to step in and babysit, and it starts to bring back emotions for her, and when she, like, gave Luke up for adoption. This is a really good book. It goes from present day to the past, and you figure out why Alice gave Luke up for adoption. And that's what Luke is just really trying to figure out. Like, why wasn't I good enough? Why did you give me up? I didn't have a bad life, but I just didn't feel like I fit with the family I was with. But it's a very good book. So I highly recommend it. It was 5 stars. So, like, the last little part on the back of the book, it says, the truth of who Alice is and the story behind her heartbreaking decision to give up her baby come to light. She and Luke must reckon with the sacrifices they've made in the pursuit of love and belonging. Again, just a very good book. It's very heartwarming, and just, it's a good book. It really is. Like, it helps with, if you've been adopted or you know someone that's adopted, like, this really connects with that. And it even talks about some mental health struggles in the book. Highly recommend. I'm going to set you down there. Okay. Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. 5 stars. Romance read. This book, oh my god. Like, again, it's been on my list forever, so I don't know why I waited so long to read it. I feel like I say that about every book, but just to read the back for you real quick. He puts his hand against my chest. It's still beating, he whispers. His words a soft kiss on my lips. As long as it's beating, you're okay. So, Cora and her soon-to-be brother-in-law, because her sister is getting married, are kidnapped by some crazy dude and are chained up in his basement. They are forced to do things that they shouldn't be done. I mean, they're held captive. They're trying to escape from him. There's just so much trauma in that basement. They eventually escape, but then they're trying to navigate life after. They literally went through this together and just the trauma they felt, and they're still just trying to figure out, like, everyday life again. Because they were down in this basement, I believe it was 3 weeks. It's just a very good story. They're trying to navigate, like, feelings that they have for each other now that they didn't have beforehand because they used to be, like, enemies. Just a very good book. Highly recommend. Still Beating. 5 stars. 5 stars. This one, My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. This psychological thriller. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Like, it had you thinking throughout the entire book. Like, I didn't know if I was coming or going. I'm like, oh gosh, it could be this or it could be that. Like, I was blaming everyone, or like, oh, they're in on this, they're in on that. Like, I loved it. But just to read it real quick. one house, one husband, two women, one is lying. So in this book, a woman goes out for a run. And while she's on her run, like she didn't take her phone, she has her house key, that's it. So she's out on her run and she gets back to the house and she's like, oh, my husband's car's here. Like he got back from work. She goes up to unlock the door. The key won't go in the lock. And she's like, what the heck? So she knocks on the door and she's like, I'm sorry, it's been a bit. What is her husband's name? Goodness, guys, I am so sorry. I should have been more prepared. But her husband doesn't come to the door. It's another woman, and she's like, can I help you? And she's like, I live here. Can I help you? And she's like, no, you don't. This is my house. And then the husband comes up and he's like, I don't know you. Like, this is my wife. So the woman's like, what the heck's happening? Like, what do you mean? Like, I live here. The cops get called. She's arrested, like, cause she doesn't even have ID on her, anything. So it's just interesting to see her, like, what happens with her and like who's lying. It's really good. That's all I can say. Like, I don't even know how else to describe it. Like, I mean, if you go out for a run and you come home and you can't get in your house, like, what? Like, what? Um, okay, we'll do this one. Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. So this book is, okay, so yes, inspired by a true story, two families, generations apart, and forever changed by a heartbreaking injustice. So this book takes place in Memphis, Tennessee, like, because it goes back and forth, like, past and present. And a family, the parents have to rush to the hospital because the mother's in labor and trying not to lose the babies. But while they're at the hospital, they end up signing papers that they didn't realize were papers to let people take their 5 other children away and put them up for adoption. So people come and get them. They're sent to an orphanage and they're slowly separated. And it's just heartbreaking seeing that happen because they're trying to stay together. And the big sister is just trying to keep everyone together, like, because she knew that her parents said, make sure everyone stays safe, keep them together, and she can't physically do this in this orphanage. Like, this orphanage, they treat them poorly, the kids are malnourished, even physically abused. It even goes into a little bit of sexual abuse, unfortunately. It doesn't go into detail, but just the stuff that they went through. And this is loosely based off of a true story. So, like, this did happen, unfortunately. But in the present, it's a few of the siblings being able to come back together and just share their life. It's very heartbreaking because, like, they didn't really tell their children what had happened. So, like, the children and grandchildren are like, why didn't you tell us? And they're like, well, you all have your own life, and, like, we kind of had our own lives, and we didn't want to, like, intertwine too much because this is a lot to take in. It really is. I love historical fiction books because, again, they're loosely based off of true stories and just stuff that unfortunately people went through. Yeah, this was a 5-star read. Highly recommend. Next we're gonna do The Heated Rivalry by Rachel Reed, so 5 stars. This book, oh my goodness, sorry, I'm gonna read a couple of things off my phone. So the 2 main characters are Shane Hollander, and then Ilya Rozanov is on the Russian hockey team. And, like, it's just such a good book because they have so much banter between each other on the ice and even off the ice. But on the ice, like, all the fans are like, oh my gosh, they hate each other so much. They hate each other. But for years, they have had a secret relationship and they're trying to navigate the lifestyle, like, because they're hockey players. They're like, no one's come out as openly gay. Like, what would our teammates think? This and that. And again, the fans are like, you guys hate each other. Like, what the heck? So throughout the book, they're just trying to navigate their feelings, figure things out. Ilya's doesn't have, like, the best father and family. And he's like, they would shut this down immediately. And then Shane's like, I don't know how my family would feel about it. I feel like they would support us. But it's just such a good book. Like, just seeing them try to navigate life and figure out their feelings. Because one catches feelings very quickly and is like, why won't you just, like, love me back? And they just... It's so good. Like, that's all I can say. 5 stars. Really recommend. And just all the banter. It's so funny. Okay, next up, Two Can Play, Allie Hazelwood. So this is an enemies to lovers romance, 5 stars, loved it. So Viola has a chance of a lifetime to design a video game based on her all-time favorite book series. The only problem, her co-lead is Jessi effing Andrews, aka her arch nemesis. And Jessi has made it abundantly clear over the years that he wants nothing to do with her, and Viola has no idea why. So when their bosses insist that a wintry retreat is the perfect team building exercise, Viola can't think of anything worse being freezing cold in a remote mountain lodge, knowing Jessi is right next door. No thank you. This was such a good book. So, like, both companies, they're having to, like, intertwine, be together, like, get along. So it's really good just to see this come full circle, as Viola and Jessi try to, like, navigate. Like, Jessi's like, no, I never hated you, and she's like, well, you made it clear. And it's funny to see at the end, like, why he was treating her that way, because they had an encounter like 10 years prior, and that is what pushed Jessi away from her. So it's very good. I like how they ended up coming back together. Sorry, spoiler alert, but it does have a happy ending. 5 stars. Okay, next up is going to be, let's see, Stripped Down, Unfiltered, and Unapologetic by Bunny XO. 5 stars. It's Bunny's memoir. Loved it. I cannot say enough good things about this book. It is very heartbreaking what she went through from a young age. Honestly, her whole life until, like, the past, gosh, how many years? I'm going to say she started changing, like, started making big changes in her life 10 to 15 years ago. Maybe closer to 10. Maybe it was 15. I don't know. But either way, just the resilience and what she went through in her life and how she came out on top and beat all the statistics. I loved this book. It was very raw. Wasn't sugar-coated, which I appreciate, which Bunny's not a person that's going to sugarcoat things anyway. Excuse me. 5 stars, 100% loved it. The next book I read, Dash by Chantel Tessier. 5 stars. It's a romance book. This book wrecked me. I ugly sobbed like no other. Dash is becoming a professional motorcycle racer, and he falls in love with the owner's daughter, the owner of the team's daughter, and they're trying to navigate, like, their feelings because they don't want anyone to know about it. She just got out of a nasty, messy breakup, and his parents are still trying to push him to be with his ex-fiance, and he's like, it doesn't work. And all these outside factors are just trying to keep them from being together. And they're pushing through, getting through it. And it's a great book. Like, I don't want to give away too many spoilers because this book, like I said, it wrecked me. I highly recommend. I've looked for it everywhere and couldn't find it. And when I saw it was on Kindle Unlimited, I jumped and I, like, devoured the book. I think I read it within 2 days. Yeah. Ugly sobbed. My husband's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, it was just a book. I'm fine. Like, so highly recommend. Next was The Irish Goodbye by Heather Amy O'Neill. This book, it's a heartwarming book. It's sad because there's so many, like, there's trauma from the past for this family. Just a little blurb. In this emotionally resilient and gripping novel, 3 adult sisters struggle with the past as they reunite for a Thanksgiving weekend on the East End of Long Island. So, there's a lot. There's 2 sisters. There's some tension between the 2. They're trying to navigate things. one sister's just recently divorced, has twins, and just quit her job, so she's trying to figure out what she's going to end up doing with her life. The other sister is married, has two boys, is stretched so thin because she's the one that's been taking care of their parents for so long, so she has a little bit of ill feelings towards her one sister because she moved away to London, had the twins over there, and she's like, you said you would help me, and you moved to a different continent. And then the youngest sister, Maggie, she works for a school out of state, and she is bringing home her girlfriend, and she was raised Catholic, and her mother never approved of her being gay. So they are trying to navigate that and see how things go, and it's just a really good story. This book takes place within like 2 to 3 days. So there's a lot that happens, and I like that it's just a couple days. It's not like it's a month's worth, but it does go from past to present with what happened. They had an older brother that unfortunately passed away. You find out what happened with that, but when he was a young teenager, someone died from a boating accident off his boat. So the family was held liable for some charges and had to pay the other family money, and it's just everyone's trying to like get through that grief of the brother that had died. It's just a really good book. By the time you get to the end, there's so much closure, and it was just really enjoyable. 5 stars. And my last book was Dead or Alive by Andy Rhodes. This is a Dead on Arrival motorcycle club book. This is the first one in the series. I believe the second one is coming out this month or next month. It's just so good. Hades, our main MC, he is arrested for 3 murders. He went to a bank to get money out, and as he came out and sat in his car, he saw 2 people run in, and they ended up killing 3 people killing everyone in the bank. There was like 3 people in there. Well, he ends up getting charged. It wasn't a fair trial, and Willow was 12 when this happened, and she like kind of just got obsessed with the story about Hades and him getting arrested. So fast forward, by the time he's convicted, he had been in jail for 2 years, so Willow is now 14. 10 years passed, and she's 24, and she is volunteering at oh my goodness, what is it called? I think it's the Pennsylvania PWCC. Pennsylvania Wrongful Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. But anyway, she's like volunteering, and he happened to write in saying, I have my death date. Please look at this one more time. Get me an appeal. I was convicted wrongly. Like, I'm innocent. So Willow goes to meet with him in person, and while she's there, a riot takes place. Her and him, like, he ends up getting her out of there. He had a car waiting so he could get back to the motorcycle club. And she's trying to, like, navigate what's happening, and she's, like, had such an obsession with him for 10 years. Like, it's weird just being in his presence. Well, and of course, feelings start to kindle. And yeah, like, you get to see what happens and what happens with him with court. But yes, this book was super good. 5 stars all day long. The story of Hades and Willow, I loved it. Well, those were my February reads. You can either go over to Facebook, or if you want to comment below, have you read any of these? What do you think? Do you agree with my reviews? Should we keep doing these reviews? If not, let me know. But yeah, that was my February reviews. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.